This is Mission Control Houston, getting a good view now of the centerline camera. This has been successfully set up by the crew of Discovery in advance of tomorrow's rendezvous and docking with the station. This will serve as the crosshairs as Discovery closes in on the Harmony node and pressurized mating adapter number 2, which is where Discovery will be docked.
Okay, Houston, here's the STS-128 crew on the mid-deck. After crew wake up, you can see everybody's getting going. Danny and Jose were making us some excellent breakfast burritos, and everybody's getting cleaned up and ready to go to work this day. All right, and now Jose's going to tell you about the NC2 burn we did.
Here we go, get ready for the burn, and to show what our thrust is like, we're going to leave a timer floating there, and you're going to see it's going to come towards me, and I'll catch it like a good catcher in baseball. Okay, CJ's getting ready for the burn, and there it goes.
Oh, live.
And he's out.
While they were doing the burn upstairs, downstairs on the mid-deck, we were setting up the ergometer. To do workout is even more important in space than it is on Earth. We don't get to use our muscles very much. And here you see us trying to get these pieces together like a puzzle. But after a couple of trial and error, we eventually figured it out. And while we were doing that, actually they burned upstairs, and suddenly all the things were flying away from us. But they had given us a heads up, so we were warned. This, on the mid-deck, we have cleaned up now compared to yesterday. We had a lot of bags, things and that. Danny, chief of the mid-deck, got things really nicely cleaned out.
Today was the inspection, since it was flight day 2, and we pulled the OBSS out of off the starboard side of the orbiter and completed the inspection of both sides, starboard and port. We also did a nose cap inspection. We took turns playing R1 with the other 2 helping with the scans and recording. It's a pretty full day. We start early in the morning and it takes most of the day to get through it all. Then a lot of the work is done on the ground as they take all of our images and the data and begin to analyze it.
One of our big chores up here is getting all the video and audio equipment set up to not only record but ship things to the ground. Lots of connections, lots of those are video converter boxes and power boxes, and there are just many of them, maybe 8 or 9 different ways to record things and ship stuff to the ground. And so we finally got that all together, I think, by the end of middle of today, and got everything we needed.
Okay, you see down the mid-deck again, we finally got the ergometer all set up, and this is actually it's a manual adjustment knob, and you can see that space is a lot of fun. If you're not having fun in space, you're obviously doing something wrong. But while we were downstairs getting things configured for basically our on-orbit stay, again, the guys were up on top, Pat, Kevin, and Jose, doing the inspection. That's a really long day, as Pat mentioned, and it's a very hard task to do, but they did a really great job today. But as Christopher mentioned earlier, you know, we try and combat the issues associated with being in space. And you can see here CJ taking advantage of the work that we did with the ergometer. He was the first one to jump on it, and here he is working out.
And then today we spent quite a bit of time working on EMU checkout, or checking out the spacesuits for the 3 spacewalks that we'll be doing. You can see Danny and Krista here working on their spacesuits. We worked on the suits themselves and then spent part of the day as well pulling together all the equipment that we'll need to transfer over to the space station, because all 3 of our spacewalks will be happening out of the space station airlock. And here you can see Kevin up on the flight deck. We have quite a few windows that we have the opportunity to look out of. These are some of the video screens that we use for the robotics operations. And here's Kevin looking out the window. And in this task, he's working with the robotic arm and the big long boom that we have to work on the inspection and looking at clearance between the orbiter and the boom. And this is a really nice shot of the robotic arm attached to the boom. Here's Pat up on the flight deck and actually up where the pilot and the commander sit, looking out the windows. And from every window we have a really spectacular view of the Earth, as well as the what surprised me, the real blackness of space. I don't think I've ever seen black as it is out here. And now here's CJ down on the mid-deck. One of the tasks that we do every day as far as maintenance goes is filter cleaning. We have to keep the air clean up here for both the systems as well as ourselves, and CJ has the vacuum working on the filters down here. And I got the opportunity as well to use the vacuum cleaner, and it's really very fun. Back into spaces that you don't normally see, just to make sure it's all clean. And of course, floating to get to the vacuum is very fun. And here we have a shot out the window of sunrise, I believe. And there's a little sensor package showing up in the camera view as well on the boom, I think, right? Okay, and here's CJ on the mid-deck. Another one of the main tasks that we have on both Space Shuttle and Space Station is working on science activities. And this particular experiment is looking at, I think it's looking at vaccines for different kinds of bacteria. Actually, this is a strep one. And these experiments are always fun because we get actually some hands-on time with different pieces of equipment.
And Discovery, with that, we have nothing further for you tonight. Thank you very much for a great day's work. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you.